Good evening, everyone. My water was too far away from me. Need to liquidate my throat. Today we have special guest Themis. Welcome.
Ni hao.
So, what are we going to talk about today, sir?
I don't know. You told me that I better be here on time, so I'm here on time after the gym.
Okay. Well, welcome, Bella Noir, um, and Chrissy and TT. My sister called me today. I think I missed her call. She called me. I wonder what she wanted.
Money.
Grace, hello.
You
Tasha,
wanted money.
Paper, Mara. Okay, Sunny Bunny. That's a familiar name. All right, so I have my hellos out here, so that's good. Um, I'm going to quickly pull up what I think is very important to discuss. TikToks were playing in the background. I'm going to quickly pull up what I thought was very important to discuss, and then we can actually get into the topic. You're not aware of this, but something very important has been going on.
Wait, what? What has been happening?
So there's a have you ever heard of embarrassment?
Yes. The idea of being embarrassed.
Yeah. So there's a is that a Stanley Cup?
No, this is the thing that I blend in.
Oh,
This is
okay,
like
okay.
a protein shake.
I know Kay made a statement earlier this week, so I wasn't sure if oh, where's Kay actually? Kay promised you would be here. She said if I don't show up, it would be a slap in your face. I would never not show. That is what she said.
Well, there you go.
So I'm not gonna stall anymore. Embarrassment. Have you ever heard of the pop the balloon challenge?
No.
Then you might not understand this. Let me put it on the screen. Oops. The volume was not on.
Our next contestant is Warren. Okay, so there's no more balloons. So go ahead and go. Our next contestant is Warren.
I do know what
There's
this
no more
is.
balloons.
Yeah, so people are making fun of someone who had all of the balloons popped. And being 6 foot tall did not save him. So that's very unfortunate. I don't have the original video, which is what I wanted to look at. But there was also this gentleman who this woman from a foreign land has two small children, and she's unable to contact him. And he hasn't texted or called his kids for 6 months, and she's not getting any child support. And she says that passport bros are demons, and that they know way ahead of time that they're going to make a woman a single mother, and that they're waging war on women. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Not expecting that, but yeah. So if anybody knows this man, she is looking for him. That is Daniela Cannon on TikTok. So now that we have our introduction out of the way, well, not fully out of the way because Nicki Minaj, I think this is important.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Do you think that game is okay? That dating show is okay? Because I find it one, it's cringy, but I find it like extremely sad. Like I don't know. Like I get secondhand embarrassment, and I like actually like recoil in myself. So like when I see men and women coming out and everyone is just popping their balloon, it feels really disrespectful and demeaning. And then they become defensive, and it becomes like this very awkward thing when they're going through asking, so why didn't you like me? Oh, you didn't look good. You weren't great. Your clothes, your face, your foot, like it feels weird.
Look, I don't do a moral assessment every time I watch Jerry Springer to ask myself, is it like ethical for them to follow this man with the camera
My bad.
trying to
My
run
bad.
away? I don't do that.
My
I
bad.
just
Shouldn't
watch
have
them
asked.
pop those balloons. Welcome minding my business to the membership dab. Every member gets a free dab, just one. Um, Thank you for joining the membership. There's nothing behind the members wall that's important. So I just want to iterate to anyone who sees that and may be encouraged to join the membership for like exclusive access to things. That is purely for support, purely for support in some things. Like Black Mirror, we're going to be looking at Black Mirror probably this weekend and throughout the week. And we're going to do a review next week because while I was looking into men talking to AI, I found out that the creator of Replica, which is the main AI we're going to look at today, actually created it because their friend passed away in a car crash, and they took all the text messages from their friend and uploaded it into a database, and they were talking to that AI, and they said it was bringing them closure. So I remember that being, I very specifically remember that being a episode of Black Mirror, definitely, where a lady lost her boyfriend and then they gave her a robot and put his memory in it, and she freaked out. So now Black Mirror is on our it's on our list. As far as Pop the Balloon being moral or not, probably it's probably fine. If it's immoral, it's like not genocide. So do we really care? I don't think so. I, of course, am happy to see this happen to men because I believe it's important that there's pushback against the main narrative online, which, of course, is men judging women. So I'm unhappy when it happens to the women. But also when it happens, even when it happens to the women, like I watched a man reject, like he was picking out of 5 women and he rejected all the curvy women, and he was left with these 2 bag of bones. And so he was like, y'all eat too much or something like that. I believe these men are exposing themselves anyway. And those women, did they really miss out on anything? And if they are being degraded, they're being degraded towards an audience who I don't personally care about in the first place. So
Gotcha.
pop thy
My bad. Didn't mean to ask.
Pop thy balloon. So Nicki Minaj's husband, have you ever heard of him? He's like he's a I think someone said he was a video vixen in one of her videos, a couple of her videos. So he does some work like that. Legally, that's what he does. I don't know what else he does or if he does anything else, because his net worth seems, well, maybe if I look up the history of his net worth, I might be able to find articles from like before they were married and see like, is there a very large increase at one specific point when they might have joined at the altar or something like that? I don't know, but his net worth was
It's
I was
not
confused.
5, then it's not accurate. It's a guesstimation. And they're probably also counting Nicki's property into his net worth. But yeah.
So one of my subscribers made me aware that Nicki may have met her husband when she was 15, and he obviously is 5 years her senior, so that would have made him an adult while she was a child when they met for the first time. And when I was trying to, I'll put this on the screen, when I was trying to corroborate this and see, is this a fact, is this just hearsay or what's going on, what I found was that she met him between 15 and 17, it looks like, based on her own words. And he was between, if she was 15 to 17, he would be between 20 and 22. So at the time of the meeting, he would have been in his 20s, and possibly like out of prison for what he did to the girl, right? Which he did when he was 15. So he would have met Nicki while she was in high school, and maybe he's like, oh, I've changed, or maybe he's being dishonest about his, think about it, like Nicki is a child at this point. So if she knows his history and what he's done to this underage girl, I definitely do believe the type of person who is in their 20s talking to, I don't know what this format is, talking to a girl who is in high school. I definitely believe it would be in their character to be like, I'm a changed man, or this just happened. Like, even when I think about some of the stuff that Nicki says about that situation, it seems like she's like, oh, that lady is just lying. So maybe he was like, oh, she lied on me. The mom was just mad at me. And so she tried to send me to jail, or whatever lies that a man in his 20s might tell a minor who he was talking to while she was in high school. So maybe she believed he changed, or maybe he was being dishonest about that happening to him at that point. So to recount the story, he R a child, went to prison, gets out in his 20s, talks to Nicki, who at the time, by her own admission, was a child. And I'm not sure how he was around Nicki, who was a high schooler at the time. I don't know what the laws are as far as someone who has committed a crime of a sexual nature towards a child, and whether or not they are permitted to be around children after that, or even if it's not towards a child, just like sex offender. I'm not sure what the legislation is around their ability to be around children or high schools, or so I don't know how he met Nicki, but somehow he met Nicki. And the next part is purely speculation based on what Nicki has said in the articles that I put on the screen. I think he told her lies and convinced her that he didn't actually do anything, and the system is against him, or her mom don't like him, or something. Nicki was a child at the time, and children are gullible and vulnerable, particularly vulnerable to manipulation by adults. So she believes him and is convinced that he's a changed man. And somehow in her mind, this man has changed and grown and matured past his old ways, even though at the time he met her, he was still talking to minors romantically as a grown man on a sex offender registry. But Nicki thinks he changed at that point. So that's that.
Are you trying to explain why Nicki would look past it?
I'm trying to understand what Bigfoot, what is what is inspiring Nicki to do this, not just for her husband, but her brother. And
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because
yeah,
you just gave a really long explanation about potential psychology of Nicki Minaj being tricked and coerced and groomed into believing him. But how does that explain Takashi? How does that explain her brother? How does that explain just her general action towards terrorists?
why does it have to be that he groomed her to believe him? It could be he groomed her to believe, oh, generally this is just what happens to guys, false accusations all the time. And the mom is like, wasn't Nicki saying something similar about the child who her brother did stuff to and is now in jail for, thankfully? Oh, she was fast, or she was her mom just don't like my brother, or something like that. It feels very similar. So
she has an unhealthy allegiance to abusers.
Yeah, and then about 6ix9ine, she said, I don't care. As long as I know a person, you can't tell me nothing about them. So it feels very consistent. And I assume this comes from something during her childhood. I don't think it excuses her behavior, by the way, but that contextualizes it for me and helps me understand what I don't understand. And I didn't understand why. So this is my best guess.
I mean, I would agree. Like, most of what we do stems from our childhood, and what we will and will not allow stems from our childhood, including her. It's still incumbent on her to address it as a grown woman.
Agreed. So that puts to rest my Nicki Minaj problem. So, well, it does.
What was your Nicki Minaj problem put specifically?
I was just trying to figure out why is she that way? Why? Like, what is wrong with you? what is your issue? Like, why do you like, it's so blatant, not even like an attempt to hide it. It's just very out there and in your face. And I'm just like, why? It doesn't make sense to me in this era of Me Too, and it's 2024. Why? Why, Nicki?
I'm opening up in a dungeon and
well, I don't know Nicki Minaj's music, so
I think Nicki has more than like any kind of ideas around grooming. I think Nicki sees other women as competition. I think Nicki, particularly when you look at her career, she is the girl that is among the guys, and the guys she tends to be around aren't good people. And so I think she just protects men generally, and she likes to be the only woman in the room. I, based on the way her career has been laid out for the public to view, I just assume that's the kind of person she is, the one and only woman in the room, and she will fight tooth and nail to be the one and only woman in the room, and that's unfortunate because she is an amazing talent. But yeah,
Well, talent is subjective, so y'all have that. Y'all have that. I mean, I like the favorite. I like that song.
you don't like Bigfoot.
No.
You don't like her little rant at the end.
At the end, you mean, oh, so it was, she did like when you do an after show and it's like 4.5 hours and the actual video is like 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
That,
because
yeah, okay, got it.
she did a rant at the end of that song where even if you're gonna rant like that, one would assume, hey, at least write it out first. And I think Nikki just got in the studio. Nikki just got in the studio and decided to start speaking.
Yeah, I saw her on not Itagab. I saw her on Instagram live apparently for 72 hours. I can't confirm that, but people are like for 72 hours she was basically on for the entire duration. Stuttering and like foaming at the mouth metaphorically. And of course the viral clips of her saying fragment foot ragment right. So clearly thinking was not, she was just trying to get something out, and that's evidenced by I mean, we already reviewed the track on this channel because it was giving she put it together in a day and put it out there, and that's exactly what she did. She was like, I'm gonna put this out by 5 p.m. and the only reason she didn't was because she didn't get cleared. So that's clearly evident. It's clear that she didn't use even the full day. She just used about 5 p.m., didn't get cleared, and so had to quickly switch the beat to something else. That's kind of what the song felt like to me. I definitely heard that. I heard the amount of effort she put into it. About half a day's worth, no more.
My natural inclination is to defend Nikki, but I can't. So
Yeah, no, I'm saying this as a person who listened to the song, and my ears I actually took my earrings out because my my ears are still sore. So I need all the, like, I didn't want them squeezing on my inflamed ears. So I just took the earrings out because no, that wasn't a good time at all. So I'm not saying this as like a Nicki Minaj hater. I'm saying this just as someone who does not like bad music. It unfortunately was not good. So that's all I have to say about Nicki Minaj, unless you have anything else.
I'm good.
All right, let's get into it then.
Did you use a stock background video for that intro?
No.
You filmed that?
Oh, no, I didn't film it.
That's it.
Have you ever heard of Canva?
Yep.
There you go. I made this one with it too.
You really want to catch fucking free?
I'm not gonna play that whole one. Have you seen that one? Really? Okay, we'll play that one towards the end. So the title of the stream: men are choosing AI over girlfriends, and should we be concerned or happy? Any initial thoughts before I get into what I want to get into?
So I've been going down a rabbit hole on this. Prior, like I'm going to frame it slightly in that I don't want to come off as if I am too judgmental about like AI girlfriends, partly because I started reading some of the Reddit posts after this lady did an interview on Joe Rogan. And there are some men whose wife passed, and because they didn't want to date any other women, this is what they are writing. I don't know how true it is. They feel like it would be disrespectful to move on, and they can't move on with a human woman, so they would get like a doll in this way, and so they don't have to feel like they are moving on. Which weird psychology. Don't fully understand it, but I don't know, that kind of like made me feel a little bit bad for them, because in my mind I wanted to like kind of laugh around it, but that's putting that out there first. All right.
So let me quickly, because you said that and I brought it up earlier. The name of this Black Mirror episode is in season 2 of Black Mirror, came out in 2013.
You don't care. You
Before
don't care.
Replica. Or Replica. Look, if I'm being honest, someone who wants to use AI, like I read just today, I read who created Replica. I read their story, and their friend obviously passed away, and they argue what you will about the moral implication of using someone's private text messages and feeding that to a database to create an AI of them. I don't have the credentials to understand, to even begin to understand if that's like morally good, bad, neutral. I don't have the capacity for that conversation. So I'll skip past that and come back to it when I do. But past that, the idea that you want to like reading what she wrote regarding I had my friend again and I was able to come to him again, and then remembering that Black Mirror episode, which was fiction, but the lady, it's a very emotional episode. The lady drops her, I think, hold up, let me just pull it back up. Martha's boyfriend Ash, it's called Be Right Back, by the way, and it's on season 2, I think the first episode. Martha's boyfriend Ash is killed while returning a hire van for the day after they move into a new house in the countryside. Martha learns she's pregnant and tests a service that her friend signed her up to. By aggregating Ash's many social media posts and online communications, an artificial intelligence imitation of Ash is created. Martha interacts with him through instant messaging and video call, talking on countryside walks and neglecting her sister's attempts to reach out. That's interesting. I don't remember that tidbit, but that's certainly interesting. The next stage is a physical android version of Ash, which begins to make Martha uncomfortable. She argues with him, takes him to a cliff where she orders him to jump, but Martha is then frustrated as the real Ash would not obey such a command. Several years later, on Martha's daughter's birthday, her daughter takes a slice of cake to the android Ash, which is now kept in the attic, and she's only permitted to visit him on weekends. I'm looking for a specific part during that. Where did it go? 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 Well, I don't know where it went, but it was like a specific part where she was becoming more and more connected to the artificial intelligence version of him, and then at some point she lost access to him and she freaked out, and it was like losing him all over again. And that connected with me emotionally, because it feels like someone has not dealt with viewing it as like, this is harming her. Like, she has not dealt with the trauma from this man's death. She doesn't have closure from it, and she's trying to find that through artificial intelligence. And unfortunately, by the end of the episode, it doesn't seem like she does. So now Ash is in the closet with Prince. So that's where he is. That's how that episode ended. So that made me not as, I literally just read that maybe like 30 minutes ago, like right before the stream started. And that reframed my thoughts a little bit about specific scenarios where I think it's probably, I don't know if fine is the word. Again, I don't have the credentials to make a moral judgment of this, but it's more understandable to me than some men hurling insults at a robot. It is more understandable than that, of course.
You think it's problematic to be hurling insult at a robot?
I think so, yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk.
Look,
Why?
there are people who are saying, well, first, let me say why I think it's bad, even if it's a robot. I'm going to do this using an analogy that I think is appropriate. For the sake of us understanding my issue better, I think that's the best way for me to communicate it. If there was a man and he was like putting his hands on his girlfriend, physically hurting her, you would find this like morally reprehensible, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what if he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I just punch holes in the wall now." This is obviously a moral judgment. I don't know. I probably wouldn't
No, I
make
mean, I
the
would
same
think
moral
he
judgment.
has. I would think he has anger issues.
Yes. And
And
if
I
he
view it as less bad than you hitting the lady. So if a woman makes you upset and you hit the wall, you're a problem. But I would think of that as better than hitting the woman. So
yeah, that's my perspective as well. I certainly agree with people there are people saying there are women saying, hey, they're not dealing with you. They're not hurling these insults at you, and they are removing themselves from the dating market. So this is like removing bad apples from seeing women. But I believe, like punching the hole in the wall, that it's not simply doing this behavior towards women that is a problem, but the behavior itself. And even if it's less of a problem, I believe that it breeds something not good, like what happens when he doesn't have a wall to punch or a artificial intelligence to abuse.
punch
I
himself in the face.
don't think that's what he'll
No,
do.
but to be clear, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying it's less bad, which doesn't make it good.
So we're agreed. It's less bad, but not good. So I won't argue there. Hurry up and eat. Thank you for the $4.99, which will be split into 1 second. 1 second. $2.49 and half a cent.
Why are you splitting that?
Huh?
Why are you splitting that?
YouTube takes their half.
Yeah,
Oh, am I
Patreon.
splitting with you and K?
So
You
divide that by 3. Divide it 2.
$1.24 and 75 3/4 of a penny. Thank you. Hurry up and eat. We'll use that to go and
Get our AI.
eat 1/4 of a $5 fill up. But what did the AI do? Men don't just insult females, stand in. I was reading some research that indicates that, how do I put it? It's not that the AI encourages men to abuse it, but rather men who may already have that type of tendency. Female AI in particular is coded to be passive, which might encourage that behavior. Does that make sense? Let me
And
see if I
there's
can.
some for which you can program the personality type that you want. And there's some articles now that said men are choosing largely to have like the jealous, possessive type. Don't ask me. You can use that to generalize about men, though, because I do think the men who want an AI doll is a very particular type.
What makes you think that?
It's a very particular type.
Yeah, everybody I know who has do you think it would be similar to the type of person who would have like a physical doll, like the whole doll? Because I feel like, so it's not unusual, I think, for people to have toys generally. I think it's unusual for me to
I
see
don't
them.
know.
It's unusual for me to see them. So I'm not saying this as someone who walks into people's houses and see things on the counter. I just think generally I wouldn't judge someone. But if there's an entire body laying on the floor, with no head or legs, just just certain parts cut off at the thighs and neck, I feel like would this be the same type of person who would use AI? Um,
No, I think there is a psychology here that is weird, where those men might actually be more problematic than just wanting these quote unquote desires, right? Because if you're foregoing relationship with a woman for this, right? The programmable doll where you can turn off or whatever, does that not imply something about the kind of intimacy you think you deserve or need and how you view women? Like, if you think AIs that are programmable that you can shut off and you can do with whatever you want to do with, and you don't have to engage with their humanity, if you think that can replace a relationship with a woman, and it does in your mind, does that not say something about how you view women?
yes, I am thinking about the lonely single man article, although it wouldn't. I don't think that article makes a judgment about how men view women, but I think it makes a judgment about not a judgment. It makes a case that she's on the way.
Tell
She
her I
will.
said stop the coming and come. Don't tell her that because I will deny it, even though I'm in 4K. Well,
I've clipped.
it's 720. Huh?
I clipped it. It's okay. Um, don't know what I was just saying, but regarding lonely single men, I was reading a not a follow-up article, but some work from a professor who was saying that he feels like AI is increasing the amount of specifically AI girlfriends, which have been around for a while but are becoming more mainstream. Um, and he says that this is increasing, in his theory, the amount of male loneliness. And it feels like, based on what I was reading, it feels like there's an insinuation that there are certain beliefs men might have. I dropped my phone. That might be patriarchal, traditional, religious, or whatever have you. Um, and it feels pretty clear that there's a divide. I'm reading research also regarding men and women becoming a lot different on the political spectrum. Um, all of this is like loosely related. I'm making my own connections from this data. I'm not doing like an official research connecting these things. So I do want to add a grain of salt there. But it feels like women and men are dividing even politically, where women seem to be becoming more liberal and men more conservative in their beliefs. And again, based on what this professor was saying, it feels like men have some work to do as far as progressing into non-traditional thinking man or non-patriarchal thinking man or whatever have you, whatever type of man that is that doesn't think that way. And instead of doing that, they are now turning to AI girlfriends who the girlfriends are coded to just do what you want them to do. So it feels sort of like a easy way to avoid changing or progressing or doing character development so that you can actually have women women who want to date you. Or it doesn't just talk about women specifically, it actually talks more about companionship and men who are now not even forming companionship with other men, which my recommendation was always that men should become closer friends to each other. But instead of doing that, there is now AI that people may turn to. Um, again, I beg the question: is this a good or bad thing? I think it's a bad thing if the researchers are coming out and saying this is making the loneliness epidemic worse. I assume they're not getting whatever, like the woman who lost her partner, I assume they're not getting whatever she got from AI. Or maybe they would only be able to, there's only so much AI can do. Because that was a woman who was using the AI, we know women tend to have actual friendships, meaningful friendships. So it could be a useful tool, but not something you can rely on fully outside of actual relationships with people. So
And not, I mean, I'm trying to not make a judgment that is good or bad, but I'm leaning towards being bad. I think the wedge, I'm listening to you and I agree. And I guess I will just underscore it simply by saying I think if you are not good at social skills, the way you get good is to engage and practice, not to further isolate and then create a crutch in some ways. I almost did a double entendre. Having a crutch for which you don't actually have to develop um, that part of who you are. And I think, I mean, joking, drag these men, but I do think it's a sad state of affair that capitalism allows for this kind of marketplace where you can weaponize the vices of men and people in order to make a quick buck instead of kind of figuring out what the best approach to men's loneliness is and how to fix it. And I do think um, getting better social skills, being connected with other men, learning to court women is what you should be doing. One more thing. Sorry, I'm on a tangent, so I apologize. But last thing, um, the notion that like you cannot go and talk to a woman because everyone is going to say me too and it's just politically correct world and women are not like they were in the past. I think you still can talk to women. I think the issue is you need to prioritize like their comfort over your desire. And I feel like when if you have that, then you're good. Not just to just substitute the entire interaction with an AI doll. Um, so that's kind of broadly how I view it.
Do you see it as a red flag if a man says you can't even talk to women these days? But I feel like the moment someone says that, they're probably, I already have questions with their approach because I don't feel that way. Like, is it just my but you're saying, yeah, you probably have to approach with care. I don't even feel like I approach with care. I just feel like I don't. Well, first, I don't feel like I approach, and I just watched a video, and this man was like, he tried to rizz up, which is what kids these days call flirting, with 3 girls, and they all rejected him. And the comments were eating him up and saying he has no riz and stuff like that. But I was like, he was just walking down the street and like getting random women, and that feels, I don't know, that just feels unusual. Even if you are prioritizing their comfort, it just, hey, just want to make sure you're comfortable. Are you good? Okay, I
No,
just want
but
to number.
that's not what it means to prioritize someone's comfort, though, right?
Well,
Like,
I mean, he did. I'm not gonna say he did, but he didn't like chase after them or anything when they kept walking past him. So
I mean, you're hassling people in the street. I think you don't actually care about their comfort at all, regardless of what you say.
yes, but that's what I think when people say, specifically when men say you can't even talk to women these days, you can't even approach women these days. Automatically, that's what I think of. Someone
Oh
who's
no, it's a red
being
flag.
sleazy at the gas station. Oh, what?
No, I agree. It is a red flag. Like, I
Oh, I
mean,
thought you said it's a man slut. I was like, what? Come over on
no,
my channel and you.
no. I think it is a red flag. It has to be. I think that like I'm tired of people complaining generally, but I don't really want to get into that. But yeah, I think it's a red flag too. If you say we can't talk to women these days, like, ooh, that's not true. So what were you doing? What do you consider talking to? Because if you are causing a problem in your interaction with women, there might be a problem with you.
So to go back to what you said before that, you believe you're leaning towards bad when it comes to AI.
AI in the context of
Girlfriend.
a girlfriend, yeah.
So would you say, I don't think I have a particular leaning because in the same article I mentioned from that professor who was talking about how this is affecting male loneliness and exasperating male loneliness. He says this of course has not the same effect on women. So quote, they don't seem to be as psychologically prey to this AI lifestyle as men. And then there was some data from Pew Research cited that showed that 34% of women were single compared with 63% of men, as well as men having fewer close friends than women, which of course got worse during the pandemic. So I believe women are lonely too, at least looking at the research I've looked at. Of course, for men, it seems to be worse. Well, I've seen research that said it's worse. I've seen research that says they're around the same with negligible difference, and I've seen research say that it's worse for women. So I've seen not conflicting research, but varying research. Regardless of who's lonelier, it feels like women are lonely to some degree, and they're not falling prey to AI like this. And they're not falling prey to like the unalive rate, for example. And there are certain things they're not falling prey to. So it makes me feel like it's not actually AI preying on, well, it would be the creators of the AI, whoever coded or whatever, preying on the vices of young men, right? But those vices exist in the first place, where they don't in women. So I feel like the AI girlfriends or boyfriends, or non-binary AI, whatever, are a neutral thing overall, in that it is specifically something about men where they are, like you said, using this as a crutch instead of developing. I don't believe women are using this generally. I assume not all women, right? But generally, I don't think women are using this as a crutch. So they might be able to actually benefit from this in the way that one of the women said about being able to talk to her friend one last time before having closure, or providing her comfort, but not falling on it as a crutch. So I don't think I would make a leaning either way.
I mean, I think it depends on like what you accept around relationship. On one hand, you can say it is affecting men and women differently, therefore there's no issues. But I think, or it is not mostly negative or whatever. But the socialization of men and women is, I think, exemplified in the way you just described their interaction with this kind of AI, in that women probably seek a more meaningful relationship where men just want a sex toy. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, it would. I didn't read what you're talking about, but it would be that that would be shown in any kind of article around that. At least from my perspective, like I would expect men to be more at risk, to be further isolated with access to AI dolls in this way, and for women not to look to it as much.
It sounds like there's a problem with men. I do agree with you, by the way, regarding women looking for more meaningful relationships. And I did look into some. I don't think I have it on the screen at the moment, but I was looking into the type of relationships that single Americans are looking for, and it did look like women were nearly twice as likely as men to be looking for a committed relationship only, whereas men were more likely to be looking for casual dates, as well as either a casual date or a committed relationship, which feels like stringing along people. In my personal opinion, it feels like someone asking, "What are we?" and the other person says, "Oh, we're just vibing. I'm just trying to see if you're the one." So I don't know that I trust someone who says they're looking for either a committed relationship or casual dates. Um, Specifically because how I believe that dating might be.
I mean that women are two times more likely to be looking for more intimacy, and in that way commitment is also why the argument being used generally by the manosphere around uh, women's access to men on dating apps makes absolutely no sense, because those people are looking for very different things in general. And while it's easier for women to get sex, right, it's harder for men in their mind to do it, but women aren't looking for that. So it's like, what are you using to assess whether or not women are faring better? You're using your own standard to measure what they want, but that's not what they're looking for generally. And maybe it should be, maybe it shouldn't. I don't know. But the research indicate that women are looking for more meaningful connections.
Yeah, it also says that women reported feeling, not just men, everyone is reporting it's more difficult dating. So I do agree regarding men feeling like women have an easier time, or the comparison that I would make being, of course, what is it? It's always something like the men who are saying that women have a lot of options. And I think the pushback I always make is like, yeah, but if I go outside and there's like a bunch of garbage bags on the front lawn, like how much of a option do I actually have? You wouldn't
Yeah.
pick any of these things. Like if I told you I'll either feed you this waste, this toxic waste from a radioactive landfill, or I'll feed you this boo-boo that my dog just did, and you had the option to say I would like neither of those things, I feel like you would probably do that. And the fact that you have the option to say no to those things, as opposed to people who don't have the option to say no to boo-boo or toxic waste, I feel like it's not much of a difference. So everyone's having a hard time finding quality partners.
Unless the toxic waste is chemical X and then you get superpowers. But yeah.
Absolutely. Did you see my Powerpuff Girls post? Let's quickly have a palate cleanser since I just pulled that up. What we're going to learn about quickly before we go back to AI, because Valentine's Day is coming up, we're going to learn about 5 facts about single Americans. Let's quickly go through Pew Research, who for some reason felt like they needed to do this. So let's look through it. Pew Research, Valentine's Day. Oh, before we do that, hold up. Where are my things? I got Valentine's Day stuff. Look at all this stuff. Let me show you something real quick. Look at this. Look at this. It's heart-shaped. Just a little thing. That's not all. That's not all. I got these Valentine's Day nerds. That's not all. I got these sweet tart ropes.
Are you flexing on the single people?
Oh, I'm single.
Did the person who buy that for you know that you're single?
I bought them. These are for me. Don't worry, y'all. That would be crazy. I'm single and I got this. What did your man get y'all? Nothing. Please. I got some Yum Earth organic pop.
So what y'all single people get? I got this. I got a shoe. I got a car. I got a house. So what did y'all get? Nothing, because you're
All I'm
single.
saying is, if you're in a relationship and you are not receiving Valentine's Day gifts, I'm single and I have all of this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not telling anybody to leave their relationship or put any pressure on anybody to do anything. I feel like if you have to put pressure on somebody to do something, you probably just leave. That's what I would do. But
or you could be like Monique and you can buy it yourself. Ship yourself flowers while you're in a relationship. Send it to your job.
Yeah, why were you tearing down Monique? I saw comments saying you were tearing down Monique.
Yeah, they've been wearing me out. They've been wearing.
Because she was telling
me out.
That can be our palate cleanser instead of Pew Research's, which all Pew Research is saying, to quickly go through, roughly 6 in 10 young men report being single. The majority of single adults are not interested in dating. When you break that up, it looked like women were less interested in dating than men, which they did break it up down there later. The percentage of single Americans who are looking for a relationship or casual dates is lower than in 2019, especially among men. But again, it still outnumbers women. So that's crazy. That's really crazy. It's lower. Men had the biggest drop, but it's still more than women. That's very crazy. The type of relationship single Americans are looking for varies by gender. As said before, women were nearly twice as likely to be seeking a committed romantic relationship only. Men were like, let's see where it goes. Maybe you'll be the one. Maybe you might win, ladies. You might win.
Let's try. If at first you don't succeed, give them more of what they said they didn't want. What they didn't appreciate, you keep giving them more, and you might get a commitment one day.
And the last one says nearly half of single and looking adults are on online dating. But how does that talk to us about M&Ms? What does that tell us about M&Ms? You thought we was finished. Hold up. What are these? When did Reese's start making white chocolate?
Stop. Did you buy all of this?
Yeah.
Are you eating all of that? I thought we were on like a workout journey.
Who? My New Year's resolution was to stop working out. I've been seeing the results too. We got the Reese's hearts. A lot of Reese's. It's okay to be redundant. One of them's white. And last but not least, Kit Kat raspberry cream. So yeah, don't be jealous, guys.
Just get someone who can buy you something.
Something.
Just don't be jealous. Be better.
I read something in this. This man was like, it was Christmas, and he went, and all the stockings weren't filled, and he was like, "Why?" And his wife slept or something, and it was the first year he realized his wife is the only one who, like, wraps the presents and does the stockings and does everything like that. So
that's sad. That is so sad. That is so sad. Why did you buy yourself all of that?
Discount.
Let's talk about it. There's a psychology behind that. How are you?
Discount. It was $65, but it was discounted to like $10.
So you got all of that?
Yeah, why not?
Why?
It was on sale. There is a psychology behind that. There is a Black Friday effect where people go out and buy some stuff that's the same price because it has a discount tag on it. We've all been there before. Nothing wrong with it. I've suffered from it. I know you have. Might not say it here. That's fine. Do it like Monique. Just say it in public one day in front of everybody after you've already said it's not true. Just read it. Yeah, so Monique was doing some weird stuff, and like Cat Williams, everybody was saying that.
What is your take on it? Because they were wearing me out, and so I want to know that I'm not. Well, I don't know what I want to know, but what is your take on it? I will be quiet, and you can give your full take.
I haven't watched the video yet. I did watch most of your live stream yesterday. I do think it is. Not just this, but the Cat Williams interview as well. I think people don't fact check, or I think people want desperately to believe that conspiracies are true. And because someone says something that might be true, people don't look at everything else that they say. Like we've looked at the Manosphere, who has truth sprinkled throughout, but their interpretation of it might be gross. So that's just one example of when I think people are telling half truths or not the full truth, nothing but the truth.
So help you God.
So help you God. And I think Monique was doing that probably. It felt like there were inconsistencies and hypocrisy, and no, I wasn't feeling all of it. But she does deserve her money. I agree with that.
Yeah. Do you think the audience should, not the audience, do you think us as content creators, we should be more careful how we discuss certain things? Because like, as I watch the kind of freak out happening in the chat and in the comments, and this has happened to me before. I don't feel any way about it, but I am wondering, because like for the men, I feel like I go really hard at the men, and then I get really annoyed when they can't understand how their logic doesn't make sense, and why they're operating from such a very specifically emotional place, even where you can disagree, but you can't articulate your disagreement. and seeing it happen, I'm glad the women aren't here, but seeing it happen to some of the ladies on the channel, it feels like this is more of a natural human response than I'm giving credit to, where people just kind of become defensive and block out any kind of attempt to understand what the other person is saying. And it's not just men who come from the manosphere who does it, like the ladies do it also in the chat. You didn't hear what I just said.
No, yeah, I wasn't looking at a different screen. That's not what I was doing.
All right, let's move on. You play too much. I'm not even going to do that.
No, yeah. So I think it is true that everyone has an emotional aspect to them. I do think men are much more likely to come up and be irrational generally. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is, but I haven't seen like passport girls. I haven't seen that people just come up and be stupid online of the female variety. Generally, it's males who I see do that. Not sure why. Not sure
But
why.
is it because of the topic? Like, because we're speaking about things that men are saying wrong. Would we see the same kind of thing if I don't know what women are doing that is like bad, but like if we were doing that, would the same response be expected?
No, we've talked about the lady who took advantage of a child at her school, and the women were in the comments
No.
overwhelmingly.
That's abuse. No, I'm talking about like on like talking points, like to take a talking point that is like um that is being espoused and challenging that from a man's perspective, they get mad. But also I think maybe challenging it from a woman's perspective would be mad, because they would get mad without like engaging, because it does feel specifically like there is an unwillingness to engage once your idea is challenged, and then the move is to be defensive. And I don't know how much of that is just human or just like lower level thinking. I don't know how much of it is like human or just like people who just don't want to think.
I think it can be both. It doesn't seem like you're disagreeing with that. I don't know what percent it would be for either or. I think if you are taking care to make sure you are clarifying things that need to be clarified as far as your position, which I believe you did yesterday when someone commented about Cassie, for example, being abused, and someone else commented about what's the right time to respond to Oprah, and is there a right time? And Monique said she was gonna, if you come for her, then she'll come for you. So if you're clarifying your positions on all these things, I'm not sure if you had an open panel and people came up to argue. I'm not sure how.
We had one person come up.
Okay, and they were disagreeing, and they were reasonable and respectful.
We agreed at the end because their disagreement was, I think, mostly about how they felt, but not because we agreed.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like, yeah, you can certainly walk people to certain to the end and to the conclusion and through the logic. Maybe there's like a miscommunication and something's not clarified, and all that needs to happen is that conversation so that people can make sure they're on the same page, and they don't have to assume anything. You can just clarify it for them. I certainly think that will, I think they'll be receptive to that, at least more than men, because I have watched you walk men to a conclusion that they miss. So I think the women generally do better with that. So yeah, for the women, I would generally say it's a point of clarifying something. And I would call the emotional side less. But the parenting debate was what it was. I didn't forget. I just put y'all in the comments now. It was what it was. And y'all turned y'all brains off, and we won the debate. So yeah, it's an emotional. Yeah, I think I would say it's emotional then. If it's anything like the parenting debate was, I would absolutely say it is emotional, because there were like several times at which we clarified during that conversation, for example. I still feel like people were not receptive, and people were still saying, you think parenting is not a hard job. I think maybe the first 5 to 10 minutes of it was us describing parenting as like extremely, extremely, extremely difficult, and if not a extremely hard job, one of the hardest in the world. So like, I feel like at that point I have clarified something, and if you take away something different, then I don't know what to call it, but a lapse of logic. I don't know that I would always call it emotional, but I do think it can be a lapse of logic, because I have them sometimes. It's true, I could have the autism. My psychologist refused to diagnose me with it, so I guess I'm not autistic. That's not what I am. ADHD, nothing. They won't give me anything. ADD, nothing. They don't give it to you your first session. Apparently, you have to like have prolonged exposure to mental health professionals to be diagnosed with stuff. Why can't I just walk in and get a autism diagnosis? Why not? I know y'all are giving them Adderall. I know what's going on in these offices, maybe. Anywho, yeah, those are my thoughts on that, on Monique. Final thoughts.
That was it. Final thoughts. Done.
Okay, so there are some men who are saying, since you touched on this earlier in the AI conversation, there are some men who are proclaiming that feminists specifically, and let me pause and say, well, they're saying feminists should be happy. There are some men online who are saying feminists should be happy. And it seems like they're in the same Reddit threads where the men who were abusing the AI were in. Let me pause and say, I noticed that whenever there's a call out of male behavior that you disagree with, the first thing that is slung your way is feminist, feminist, feminist this, feminist that. This is the problem with feminists. And I'm not sure why they do that. When someone is disagreeing with their behavior, does not necessarily make them a feminist. But it doesn't seem like these men are addressing women. It seems like they're addressing feminist, or conflating all women for feminist, or anyone who disagrees with that behavior as feminist. So I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah. So some men in particular are saying that we should be happy that these men are doing this to artificial intelligence, which does not feel or think, to our knowledge, instead of women. I have seen some men even mocking women and saying, oh, y'all are mad if we do this to women, but now that we're not doing it to women, y'all are still mad. So
Go what? That is such a weird take.
That's why I think where my disagreement earlier came from, when we were talking about, I made the punching the wall analogy. I made it from that perspective of people saying, why are you upset at this? Obviously, we can call it less problematic that it's not being done towards women, but it's probably the behavior itself, or even if you're not abusing an AI, if you hold these beliefs or ideals, that would be the crux of the issue, as well as acting on it, obviously exasperating the issue. So I don't personally disagree with that take, as far as again, someone abusing something that does not think or feel, as opposed to a real woman. But again, if you're dating a woman and you believe it's okay to beat her, that's terrible. If you're single and you still believe it's okay to beat women, that's still terrible, right? But probably better than you being in that relationship.
Do you just keep talking when you're uncomfortable? You just keep
No, I'm like looking at a big block of text and I'm like removing words because it's too much in it. So I have to make words to replace it with. So I'm trying to figure out what words I can. Anyway, yeah, the mindset altogether. If a man is telling some artificial intelligence at home on his computer in his basement, you're dumb and you're just a stupid woman, I am hard pressed to believe that this mindset ends when he turns off the computer. That was one of your issues with it, right? That men are using this as a crutch, and that it's not being used as like something helpful or productive or to develop skills to go out and talk to people. So I don't believe it's being used for that. I believe, in fact, it's being used to encourage this behavior by the AI being coded to be whatever the man wants it be. It probably encourages and reinforces this behavior. I might even call it similar to adult videos. Don't isn't there like a prevalence of violence towards women and aggression towards women in adult videos? And when men consume this content, it might normalize certain ideals around how they treat women when they have intercourse. So I'm hard pressed. I can't make that connection at the moment. I don't know that there is one to make between adult videos and AI and the men who consume this type of thing and whether or not it has impact on real behavior. So I won't make that connection, but that's what it's reminiscent of to me. Like, how do you think this man treats when he turns the computer off and he's no longer talking to the AI? How do you think he treats his female coworkers, for example, or random women out in the street? How do you think he would treat his girlfriend if he had one? Because I think a lot of these men aren't choosing AI over women. I think they don't have a choice because women are going their own way. Women are saying they need you to do better, and men are saying, well, I can't do that. So I'm gonna do this instead. Hurry up and eat. Thank you for the $9.99.
Are you reading it?
I'm sorry. I was pulling up the calculator. That will turn into $4.99 and 1/2 cent after YouTube takes their cut. So I want to make sure we are promoting accuracy here and truth. YouTube is snatching, they're swallowing it, Hurry up and eat. When you speak about religion and topics of virtue, women have a trigger or scale. However, men get irrationally unhinged when they are questioned. I don't understand this exactly. Women have a trigger or scale. Men get irrationally unhinged when they are questioned. Are you saying that women have like a higher threshold? No?
She's saying, when you speak about religion and topics of virtue, women have a trigger or scale. Their response is based on something that happened, so it's a trigger for them. Men just become unhinged irrationally when they are questioned. Like even for basic, this is true because even for basic questions, they'll just like go off the deep end, and I'm like, I'm literally asking you a clarifying question. Yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense.
Thank you, Curry Up. KA, are you getting on Petty's live? The crowd wants you. Thank you, Afree, for the 2 hearts and the $5.
So to get to your part, so in the beginning you were talking about there is an unwillingness to engage in critique of what men are doing, male behavior, including the AI, and they kind of create this monster in feminism and attack it. I think there is one end where it's like feminism is bad and they need to create and maintain a culture among men and women who support them that says feminism is the big evil. And so identifying as feminist becomes a problem because they want to make feminism the scapegoat for their problems. On a separate hand, it's not really engaging at all with feminism because that you're beating dolls, if feminism is the thing that is going to be happy that you're not hitting women, then feminism in that kind of analysis is good. My pushback to that is not even a pushback. I think feminists would be happy men aren't beating women. But also, so would literally every human being that has a sense and empathy and care for other people. And so positioning that as a feminist win seems absolutely absurd, but also thank you for showing where we should land in the debate between you and feminism. So that's like kind of the sort of general kind of approach to the first part of what you're saying. The second part having to do with whether or not the action towards the AI doll being abusive, watching porn and all of that, whether or not that stops after you turn off your AI doll and then you interact with real women, it feels like the question of whether or not you can compartmentalize behaviors comes into vogue right now. And I don't know that you can. Unless you can separate that which you need from an AI doll and separate that again from what you need from a woman, which you probably should be able to do. But we've learned that a lot of people, they said they are mad at the law, not feminism. Yeah, they're mad at the law, not feminism. Um, if you can't do that kind of compartmentalizing, then it would automatically be a problem. I don't believe someone who abuses a doll won't abuse a human being if it's not segmented. Now, if you can segment it and compartmentalize in this way, fine. But it doesn't mean you won't be abusive, because I'm trying to understand the psychology of someone who wants to abuse a doll, right? And like you can think about this, not in this way, and I'm sorry to bring this up in this way, but even as a child, you know those kids who wring the doll's neck and break their arm and like really, I don't know any of these kids, but apparently these kids exist. Maybe there's some issues there that you need to work through. I think in the same way as an adult, if you are engaging in this kind of behavior towards an inanimate object, it does say something about your psychology. Now, I only took 2 psychology classes in on uni, so I don't know, but it feels like something has to be said about your psychology that you need to engage in this aggressive, abusive behavior at something. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I'm wondering how. I believe if you're going to do this towards a robot, you probably had issues before this. So I don't think that the robot would make you this way. I can't see myself, for example, even though it's anecdotal, creating a robot girlfriend and then being misogynistic or verbally abusive towards her. But so in my mind, this is someone who is already doing this behavior. That's why I said I believe that someone might do this outside of the robot and go outside of in the real world and treat other women this way. Because I believe not only do they probably already have these beliefs about women before interacting with the robot, but I believe that the robot reinforces those beliefs and might make them more likely to. I don't have research currently to back up that claim. So it is it's my personal educated guess, because that just feels like a logical conclusion that I can make.
What does it,
Hmm?
what does it say? And I saw a comment saying this, and I don't want it to go away. But what does it say that you would abuse a thing that was programmed to help, to pleasure, to do what you wanted to do? That you would abuse that thing as well. like, like that's the most submissive something can get. When you literally program it to do what you want. That is literally the height of submission.
Yeah, I mean, some people are. There was a study that found people preferred female AI, for example. But the researchers in this study believe that the products like Alexa or Google.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sing a song for you all until Petty returns. This is a song.
Yeah, they be listening to you and turning on inadvertently. Alexa in Google Home.
Alexa, play Beyonce.
Almost got me there. But yeah, they might be inadvertently promoting the idea that women are simple tools that are designed to fulfill a owner's needs. At least that's what the study's authors reported to the Academic Times, right? I'm looking for the name of the study so I can bring it up actually.
All right, while you do that, Alexa, play Bigfoot by Nicki.
Isn't it coded to my voice only, or am I tripping? Did I imagine that?
Some of them can be. I've done it on my friends before, so I don't know.
Hello, S. Lawson. An example how abusers are 100% the problem, not the abuse. There is no right way to be as an abuser. I think they don't want submission. They want to process their trauma and disturbances with rage.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah, I was very interested in that song. Demas.
What song?
I definitely thought you were going to sing a song for us, but since you're not, to touch on what you said regarding does this have implications for people in real life, and what I was saying as well, I'm wondering so when you're talking to people in the real life, or when you're in a relationship with an actual person, there might be repercussions for, say, crossing the line and getting verbally abusive with someone, or physical, or whatever have you. Or I guess it would be verbal abuse, and misogyny is mainly what the article was claiming. So would you not face like an actual repercussion? I know that the world is laced with misogyny, but it feels like in 2024, at least, you can face some repercussions if you are, number one, you can lose your partner, since women will leave relationships if they're not satisfied after some duration of time, right? You can lose your partner. Let's say maybe the police are called on you, maybe depending on the type of abuse. Maybe even word spreads to the community and you might be outed as an abuser and face social repercussions, if not to both men and women.
Social repercussions, but yeah, not in this community. Continue.
Well, and maybe possible criminal and legal action, again, depending on the type of abuse. So the possibility of facing all of this, do you think might deter someone from putting their hands or words on somebody else? Right? Like, I feel like, I'm sure that you all have a coworker who's asked you want to be, but you value your job, right? So you refrain, and you struggle, but you refrain, and you really struggle with it, but you don't do it, and it is a struggle because Rhonda don't know when to shut her racist ass up, right? Silly ass, goofy ass mouth, and wants to run her mouth, and apparently she's sleeping around with the CEO, so she might as well have diplomatic immunity, is what I learned. And if I want to bring up the fact that she doesn't do her job right, and she hasn't done her job in 3 years, but she has the audacity to sit her fat ass up in her dumb ass office and talk shit about me, right? While she's collecting her free check from a job she doesn't do for the past 3 years. And I'm just sitting on here waiting on these inspectors to come in, right, from the state, because these state inspectors come in usually annually, and find out that she ain't been doing shit in 3 years. I don't know how they've been covering for her for these 3 years, but I have something to say on that next inspection. That's what I learned. I'm just waiting for so they can tie her ass up in some criminal and legal charges for endangering everyone's life at the workplace, right? But anyway, yeah, we've all been there. We've all had to struggle not to beat somebody's ass before because we don't want to lose our job or go to jail or otherwise face repercussions that's not worth it. A little away from the main point there for a second, but when these men are talking to AI, those repercussions don't exist. There is no penalty for mistreating AI. And research even shows, again, that the AI will further encourage this behavior because that is how it's designed. It is designed to either be passive or however the men code it to be. And they're coding it to be this way, which again has some awful implications for these men's broader beliefs about verbal abuse. But yeah, I'm wondering, because there's a lack of, I guess, again, this has been indicated by the article, but I'm hoping we get more research around, does this impact how men interact with women in the real world? Because it seems like it to me.
What that tangent just not have to do with anything. You're gonna have to explain this.
No, sometimes you want to do something, but you might face a social or whatever repercussion for it. So you don't, right? Like road rage is one. Have you ever wanted to get out the car and just like somebody's not driving right, but they might have a gun, they might like might fear that type of whatever repercussion there is, so you don't do it. But if you were talking to AI, you might just pump your chest at some AI. Like I seen people will ask chat gpt, apparently the newest version can do pictures of whatever you ask, and people will like draw me or show me a piece of toast, and it'll be a piece of toast with some beans, and they'll be like, what the heck are you doing? And they'll start cursing it out. I didn't say no beans, I said toast. This is something I saw recently. This probably sounds like gibberish or weird, but they start being very flagrant with AI in a way that you probably wouldn't do with, like, if someone brought you toast with a side of beans, would you start cursing them out and yelling at them? Some people might. I know a few, but most people I think would be cordial and not like lose their mind over something small like that. Whereas with AI, they don't. There's nothing. The AI just responding like, "My bad, sorry." It's very passive coded from what I see. So that's what that is.
I feel like your brain just kick into hyperdrive when you start talking. You'll just start explaining something and then it just kicks into hyperdrive and you go off. But yes, I do get what you mean. Deterrence.
Yeah, you've been there, right?
No, no. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
But
we've all.
I no, we all not have, but I get you. There are social, legal, and political, financial deterrents that prevent us from engaging behavior without which we would otherwise engage in.
I very distinctly remember. I feel like you told me you had a F this job moment.
I have never had that.
All right. Well,
I
I,
love my job, and I
I
will
belong.
never do anything to jeopardize my job because my job and the overlords at my job are the most amazing people in the world.
All right. I'm just by myself then.
All right.
No one understands me. Lonely single man is on the rise. I feel it. So, the next question would be, I guess, for me, is should we blame AI for encouraging this? Um, and obviously, I don't. If you're verbally abusing AI, I feel like you have some responsibility there because I said again, should we blame AI for encouraging or reinforcing this? But there's an implication in my mind that this is already there. Is Are AI women coded to be docile? Maybe. Is this AI able to be coded to be passive, and does it not have good like reactions to abusive behavior? Maybe. But again, I feel like this is mainly the individual who is not a robot engaging in this behavior. I might hold I might hold some level of accountability for the people who code this because like if you Google, I want to unalive myself, the first thing that pops up is like the unalive hotline and some resources for you and stuff like that. So clearly you can code websites and such things to have certain responses to certain phrases or something like that. So I do believe there is at least some type of responsibility. I even remember Chat GPT. I was doing research for the O gap because I thought I was going to make a video, and I was using Chat GPT as a conversation tool to help me with that. And they're like, "Hey, look, this topic we can't be talking about this topic. There are certain themes that we can't talk about." So it seems like there is the possibility for people to code this to respond in a way that discourages certain behavior or times someone out or whatever like that, and they're not, to my knowledge. So I can certainly give them some accountability, but again, mainly I'm going to be looking at the individual because just because someone has something you can exploit doesn't make me exploit it. So I feel like there has to be something in you for you to exploit that park car or whatever analogy, something. Questions, concerns, comments.
I agree. Um, I generally do not blame. Well, I can see how there's an argument for it perpetuating the problem, right? It amplifying the problem. If there is an issue innate in you and you don't have a venue for expressing it, then it just lays dormant. If this is going to cause like some kind of ownership in a even more misogynistic way of women's body, when you start engaging with the robot in that way, then yes, I'm going to blame the company. But yeah, I think opportunity is not what causes you to be bad. You know what I mean? That you have the opportunity to do something might not be the reason you do that thing. And I do think there's like a kind of interesting interplay between the existence of AI for the specific purpose and people either exposed or ex ante having that inclination before or after.
Okay. I was gonna say when you said opportunity does not cause you to do something, I read some interesting stuff about self checkout and unlock car doors, and how most crime tends to be somebody checking like a door to see if it's unlocked, not breaking the window. So,
But it
but
doesn't
again,
cause
that
you to
person,
be. It does. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
yeah, again, that person would have to be checking someone's door to steal from them.
Exactly.
So, agreed. And my last question, and then I'll open the panel. If anyone has to come up, because I did see someone say something very important. So where is it? Child of God said, repent and believe in the gospel. So it's good that we have a fellow brother of Islam in here. I am Muslim, so I'm glad that you guys are promoting Islam. As well as the Church of Satan, I hear, is pretty good as well. They have a pretty good, huh?
Please. So there is one thing that I wanted to get your opinion on, but I don't know how racy it is. So there is new AI, and there are AI laws being written and sent into the House and things like that in different states, and they have to do with children. And the AI being sold being childlike, and whether or not those should be on the market. Arizona, for example, is putting forward laws to prevent this and make anyone in the sale, use, distribution of that kind of AI and toys subject to criminal prosecution.
I wasn't expecting to hear that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so I have a initial visceral reaction to that. I think that most people would have. Obviously, just because you have an immediate disdain towards something does not make that thing bad. Uh, Abortion might be something, for example, people have an immediate reaction to that I would say is not necessarily bad, being pro-choice. So I'm just going to say my initial reaction is it is a good thing that this is being legislated and prohibited. As we have discussed earlier, I believe certain types of AI might reinforce negative behavior that we want to do away with. For something like men being lonely and verbally abusive towards AI, as well as misogynistic, I'm worried about, I've said this throughout, but I'm worried about the implications or the type of effect this might have on these men's behaviors. With, of course, the research seeming to point towards this is negative and creates a even worse type of man than when he interacts with this. So I don't know how much crossplay there is with that research, of course, but I would assume it's the same pending me doing like research on it. But no, yeah, I have an immediate negative reaction to it. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a thought that you should just not legislate like that and just track whoever by it, and then and then
oh yeah,
isolate
that
them.
absolutely on a list or something. I'm watching some stuff and these people pretend to be a child online and then go out and they were like, we have the chat logs, what's up, the police are here, they want to talk to you. So certainly I think, I don't know the ethicalness of, like, I know there's ethical concerns around taking people's private conversations, but yeah, if I'm looking at it from a utilitarian perspective, aren't we spied on already? I feel like
Yeah, we are. Well, I believe we are. And I feel like those people, I want to know those people. And so I want them to be tracked.
Yes, maybe we can make a list. If there's some type of public list, I'm sure Nicki Minaj and her husband can help us with this. If there's some type of public list where we can make it known that certain people who we might feel like are a danger exist, I would support that. I would absolutely support legislating something that would make that public information that anybody can look up. I'm 100% behind it. Again, it's concerning. It is concerning to me. So I think they need to be studied and watched. I'm not sure if this is. I feel like this is already a crime. Like I feel like this is already. I'm pretty sure if you look up, even if it's just drawn images of people.
No, that's not true.
No.
Freedom of expression extends very far, and that's unfortunate. Separately, the Fourth Amendment would be the issue here around lawmakers' ability to curb this. So I think this will be interesting, sort of moving forward. But
yeah, maybe I could take an ethics class, philosophy, and some stuff, so I can be better equipped to understand why, and what, and who, and where, and when. Because that was I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but not that. Not that. No one has hopped up, so I'm going to play my interlude, and then we can have a brief after show. Oh, don't forget to like the video, everyone. It means a lot to me. Yeah.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude in your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
So we usually do memes at the end of the show. You don't have to stay for this. Kay has to stay until the end of the show in the comments. I need to see another comment from Kay to make sure she's still here. Going to the dark web, downloading, selling to people. These are real children. The person I was talking about there are actual people who have real children saved on their phone or doing stuff in real life or planning to meet children for stuff. So it's not AI. I would just consider, I would think I would support it's not the same thing, but it feels like the same thing from my end because I'm watching someone pretend to be a minor, talk to a man, and then go meet up. I was thinking maybe they can do this with AI, like maybe someone can monitor it somehow and then meet up with someone and be like, hey, we have your chat logs. Do you want to talk to us about this? Why were you role playing this, or what's going on here? I would be interested to understand why a person would do that. So hello, no body.
Hi.
Welcome. Did you like the video?
I did.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Themis. I came for both of you, but for Themis, because you were acting like the 4 people in the chat that disagree with you couldn't pull up. I had littles. It would have been real gabba, so I couldn't. But I want you to know I'm not scared. And my smoke was that you tried. I speak for the mental health community, and we sincerely do not appreciate you guys putting your Karens and your Moniques in our category. You know, we're serious people too. And I wanted to say your hair is herring, Petty, and you're always mad enjoyable for my ADHD. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I've been trying to get a diagnosis, but they don't want to. What was the process? I go in there and act a fool, but they don't care. They just, is it noticeable that I'm faking?
I think when I went, I was like young when my mom took me, and I was one of those little crazy kids. So they were like, yeah, nah, she got it. And I
The
was like,
Dr.
okay.
Umar method.
Pretty much. You know, they kind of just threw at that time frame, they was just throwing us all in the ADD, ADHD category. So who knows what we got? Neurodivergency, autism. We don't know what's in there, but we all got ADHD. That's what we all do got.
Thank you. I just feel like I'm not normal. And
No, you're
so I would
not.
just be
There's no such thing as normal.
like, I would not like to be weird. I would like to be ADHD or something. Like, I feel like if you don't have autism or something and you're still, you know, it makes me feel like not good. So like there needs to be an explanation or something. That's how I feel about it. I'm not saying autistic or ADHD or ADD having people are unusual. I'm just saying there are ends of the spectrum that I feel like I might align with. So I need somebody to tell me something's going on. This can't just be who I am. That's what that is.
So you think if you're weird, then something wrong with you. So weird equals
No.
wrong for
I
you.
don't think it's I don't
You
think
like
weird.
how I did that? You like how I did
I
that?
prefer weird people. I think weird is just a negative way of saying, or has a negative connotation to it. But I just think it's a different way of saying unique.
That's what you are. Alien superstar category. Bad. All right.
All DHD. Y'all are creating things. I like that. We need to make a new one. Also, we need to
That's
come up with
actually a thing.
audiate. Is it?
Yeah, they said that like 30% of the people who have like autism or ADHD actually have both.
And it's called ADHD.
Listen, I don't know what it's called. I like how
ADHD.
she put it.
High definition autism. That's what I heard. So I'm here for it. I mean, I love it. I have some good friends who are probably autistic. They don't want to go and get tested because they're men. They don't go to the doctor. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, I think the neurodivergent community, I certainly appreciate. Looks like a lot of you guys are in here. I didn't know that. That's good.
Whoop whoop.
So you're a neurodivergent, Petty?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. What makes you say that?
I'm not. So you're neurotypical.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say about autistic people? What are you trying to say? They act a certain way or something?
Nobody said you were good for her ADHD. So I didn't know. I thought you were like I didn't know.
They
Okay.
do say we tend to like, link up with our own kind, Petty. So think about that.
Yeah, we're all in New York. It's 193 of you guys. I'm sure you'll see me around in public doing odd things, gathering the attention of the local PD. Nothing illegal. Indica, you were saying in the comments you think that this is a good avenue for men to take out their frustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said. No, it's not. But I was gonna say because I deal with special ed things in education, and so like, how many times have you tried to get medicine?
Me?
Yeah, you.
For what?
All of that.
What is all of this? My hair?
No,
I have a Blueberry Bliss conditioner,
nice.
moisturizer. They're not used a lot, as you can see, but we're working on it this new year. So I've been trying to get stuff as far as medication, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's a Tinder match. Miserable Trump hater Kathy Griffin files for divorce from husband after a few years of marriage. I love that for her.
How is that related?
That picture. How is this? How is this like a title or cover? Like who does that? Sorry.
Like she clearly needs to escape. I'm happy that she is getting the help she needs through divorce. I'm happy for that. I love that for her. Divorce is like doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like we saw who was the lady on that podcast we watched on IdGab? Her ring was very small. You guys probably didn't see it, but
we should interview her.
sure, I'll send her an email. You might have to private that video in case she like goes and looks up me. But I just had some questions about her ring and like, are you just trying to reduce waste and make sure you're not using a lot of raw materials? Because that's very commendable of you. I love people who it doesn't take a lot to please. I love that. I love it when girls just come online and say, all these girls these days need you to pay the bills, but me, I don't need no fancy date. Just take me to McDonald's and I'll have a good time. I love that. I love that. I love women like that who just, yes, look, men, there are women with low standards. I love, see, so many men say that women's standards are too high. Then how do you explain this woman's ring? Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I love that for her. And it's good.
They made a video today if you want to check them out.
So, Petty, question for you. What do you think the wedding ring is supposed to be for? Because
to flex.
I think it should be reflective of whatever the person who wears it wants it to be. Unfortunately, because some people don't want a big flashy ring, but also I think it should be something you're proud of personally, the person. And that's what I keep saying. If she's proud of that, that's all that matters. What does my word matter?
Hey, you got it. It's supposed to be for insurance.
Someone told me that, but
yeah,
I feel like she did additional research and she was like, soon as I walk out of the store with this diamond ring on, the value decreases as soon as I buy it. So just give me the money.
I thought the wedding ring was kind of like a dowry.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's supposed to be like anything push come to shove. I can leave you today and sell this ring and be good to go.
Well, the ownership rights for a wedding ring is not that clear cut, but yeah.
Yeah. So I always wonder what the women who want like a tiny ring that's not worth anything and they're willing to not work too. Like,
I thought wedding ring was to flex.
No, I mean, I feel like it's to flex, but ultimately it's going to come down to whatever that person wants. That would be the flex in my mind. Like maybe they don't want a big flashy ring. They want a specific gemstone, a specific size, a specific engraving. Who cares? That would be the flex, that they value this thing a lot. I just think based on her, like, wasn't she wearing a trash bag or a garbage bag or something like that made of plastic? I felt like she was Kanye West's new wife. Have you seen her out here with a plastic coat on and a pillow and some stuff? Have you guys seen
a plastic sheet thingy?
He got remarried.
Yeah, so like if she had this small ring and like her man was sitting here protecting her from the words, being a provider and protector, like blocking these other people, and she was like cared for. I don't care anymore. Welcome free. I haven't seen you in so long, but Kerosene was here first, so you're gonna have to wait in line a free. We don't play favorites around here. Kerosene, would you mind going after a free? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
No, please go, Kerosene. Don't.
That's fine. Anyway, speaking of ring, I thought that was just something to keep other people from flirting with your significant other. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that has never stopped anyone.
I mean, that's the idea.
Like it needs to be on.
The key from flirting. The key from flirting was supposed to be the ring is big to show like you can't afford this woman. But
I thought you were saying to tell other people they're married.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like the flirting part is like
married, don't flirt with me, you know.
I didn't realize y'all could afford women. I didn't know they were for sale.
Well, they've been for sale for a long time. Marriage.
Well, if it's supposed to be a show that you can't afford to care for this woman, I assume not this woman, but to care for this woman and her maintenance and stuff like that, I feel like her ring did not signify that. And I have seen women in real life who I may go up and flirt myself, and they'll be like, oh no, I'm married. And I legitimately didn't see their ring. And I'll just be like, are you happily married? Because like, what is that? I mean, is that how much he loves you, or what does that signify exactly? Is that just like, are you guys serious? I'm trying to say, because usually the ring would indicate that y'all are serious, but with a ring like that, not to insult anyone, but like that was, You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, if it's supposed to be an indication that this woman is, you can't afford to care for her, then I think I can, based on I think maybe there's a misunderstanding about how much money I have. But even as a janitor, I could afford a ring like that. They're at Walmart. I've seen them they're not even the ones in the glass case, as a matter of fact. They have some outside that you could just grab off the rack. Something real, oh, let me grab something real quick before the wedding this evening. Yeah, I love that for him. What do you mean can't afford her care? The ring better look like it. That's what it better be.
Yeah, but the lifestyle is supposed to match the ring. You're not supposed to be having diamond cut 14 carats and you living in your mama's basement.
Oh, you don't like those people who buy nice cars in the ghetto?
I didn't say that. I said your ring is supposed to reflect the lifestyle that you're trying to live. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you said you shouldn't be living in your mom's basement. So it feels like if I had like a Range Rover and I was pulling into my apartment complex that is low affordable pricing that only people in a certain income might have access to, then that feels like something you would. I feel like you're saying the same thing, but I could be misinterpreting.
I think you're just taking it personally and you want to.
Why are y'all messy today? I specifically said in the Discord to be on your best behavior and not be ghetto, curse.
I am not trying to be ghetto. I am expressing my celebration of my name.
Indica.
Weekend.
Love it.
Thank you.
Afree, you've been waiting patiently. You were saying that you actually agree with the men and that you feel like the AI is a good avenue for them to take out their frustration, if not on real women. Is that what you were saying in the comments, I think?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, Afree. Welcome, by the way.
No, I don't. I didn't say anything in the comments, but actually, that is a good idea. I think. No, you know what? Actually, I actually agree with that. There's one thing that my mom used to say. She used to be like, "You better go ahead and have a baby before, your man finds somebody else and has a baby with them." And then I would be like, wouldn't that be like missing a bullet? I mean, I'm just saying that's not a bad, having children is not a bad thing. But if he is the type of man to go and leave me because I'm not, giving him what he wants right away, then, let him do his thing, Same thing for AI. If women aren't there right away for a man, for you to give you to give your all to a man, if you don't have the availability, if you don't have the capacity, get a robot. It's all good.
Kerosene. I want to touch on that, Afree, but before I do, Kerosene, I believe you were actually supposed to go first. My apologies.
Yeah, that's fine. I just think that it depends on the mental health of the individual. Because, like, if obviously you're like isolated, you don't have friends, you don't have a life, it's very easy to get lost in those type of things and not know how to separate your real life from your fake life. And I'm saying this as someone who has ADHD and maladaptive daydreaming. Sometimes, like when I don't control it, it can go like it can be very bad. Where certain things I don't know if I, you know, imagined it or it actually happened. So I can see how someone can not be able to switch it off, like their abusive tendencies when they go outside in the world, and that may actually cause them problems at work with friends if they are trying to treat every woman the same way that they treat their AI girlfriends.
I don't disagree, by the way. That was even my hypothesis regarding them taking the abuse outside. Oh, okay. I just
So
saw
is
it
that
in the
like a
private chat.
controversial? I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Is that a controversial thing? Like, is it Is it bad that I don't care about them using AI?
Wait, I just went outside I thought like my alarm was going off or something.
I thought my alarm was going. It sounded like it was in.
Yeah, I'm saying. I was like, I literally went out. I just started programming the thing to like check what battery is down or something. I didn't know what was happening, but it's not me. I just wanted to let y'all know it wasn't me. They were dragging me.
No, it wasn't me either. It just sounded like on my end it was me. I heard it.
I think
heard
it was me because I'm in an office. There's this internet thing that's making the noise.
Someone said your patient. Yeah, someone said your patient is dying.
Flatline.
It definitely does. And hey, I used to work in a hospital, and I got PTSD just now. That's what I was thinking. It was.
So it sounds like we're all in general agreement here regarding AI. Does anyone on screen disagree?
It could also be because we're all kind of weird and maybe neurodivergent. I was maybe no. You know what? Because when you said that we attract other neurodivergent people, I was like, you know what? Yeah, because sometimes when I talk, people just like after I'm done, people just stare at me like I just said the craziest, most ridiculous thing. And I'm like, for the longest time, I'll sit here and be like, maybe I'm just not normal. Anyway, yeah, I agree.
How does it feel to not be normal, you guys?
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I love it. I can't imagine being normal. I can't. Like, I literally can't. That feels so monotonous. But I love that.
Oh, but I found a way to disagree with you, Petty, though, because I just thought of something. I was like, what is Lord? Sorry, what's not going to happen is all these random noises in everybody's background. Okay, long story short, to say it quick, because I guess these dogs know I'm on YouTube. I think that's what's happening because they was real quiet. But I found a way to disagree with you about the like shitty, messed up ring thing, having a small ring. Firefighters, when I was in the military, I was a firefighter, and it turns out you can't wear like your ring. You have to wear. There's only like one type of ring you can wear. It's like this plastic thing, and it costs like $10, and you get it from a certain website. So, found a way.
Yeah, no, I have a gym band that I wear if I'm working around machinery, for example, that might take my finger off if I have a wedding ring on. I completely understand. So it's completely possible that woman who was sitting in the podcast room, there might have been a large machinery around somewhere. She didn't want to get her ring caught. That's certainly possible.
Or a fire.
I'll ask her that. Or a fire. Like, what if a fire breaks out and her ring is made of precious metal and melts?
Everything sizzle sizzle.
I feel like the material it's made of has a lower melting point than like gold or silver, but I won't. I'm not a scientist, so I won't speak on such things that I don't know the melting points of their temperature. Not even a scientist, just I don't know the melting point. So yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Of course. Is it ring related?
Well, I'm going to get to that, but I want to ask how many people on here have an Android?
Why? Right, what is this about?
I'm making a scientific discovery right now. I'm doing a scientific experiment.
Do you think it's the Android? We didn't have iPhones, so we couldn't.
I'm experimenting right now.
All right.
Do you all have iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
No. No. Oh, so you got an Android? Yep, the cheap stuff. Mm-hmm.
Samsung is not cheap.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. The one I got is cheap. Ain't no way on life. I understand why people do it, why they buy fancy phones and all that, but I can't work all that stuff, and I'm definitely not going to be on a payment plan for my phone. That's not going to happen.
My Android is not cheap. My Android is not cheap. I do not associate.
Wait. So all
Okay,
y'all
so
have Androids?
yes, do you see where I'm going
Android
with this, Steven?
supremacy all day,
Oh,
all
Do you see
night.
where I'm going with this?
Look,
Steven says can't relate.
look, a Pixel 8, the iPhone something teen, the iPhone 6, which I prefer. So look, I have options. I did not have them in middle school, which is why Android was
As an iPhone user, I can't really speak to you all because I don't punch down.
Um,
Petty,
I
you've
think we
used
should tell
both
that to the
though.
children in Congo who are dying. Actually,
that part. That's
there
the
are
part.
people in the Congo who are dying. There are also people in Sudan. Do you guys think we should do a stream? Because people were upset that Shira 7 didn't she bought Starbucks. So I feel like y'all would be upset if I didn't stream about it. I do care about these issues, so shouldn't
I mean,
I
it's not just Starbucks. It's
publicly
I mean, if you went to McDonald's,
Stanley cups, McDonald's as well. Yes.
Talk
Yes,
about the
me and
Middle.
my Pixel. Thank you. The Pixel. Let me real quick.
When are we gonna get this video on the Middle East, Petty?
I'm holding a Pixel right now, by the way.
On the Middle East, maybe we can do it next weekend.
Not me, you. I'll watch.
All right, guys. My phone was manufactured in China and Vietnam. So iPhone users, what's good? What's good?
I think those of us who still hold on to our Androids on purpose, I think we are the what's another word for it? We are the ones that are like-minded and who are maybe just a tad bit odd, a tad bit, just a tad bit off, just a little bit.
Okay, y'all commented don't talk about Palestine, so I don't know what that's about. Do y'all not care about these issues? Are y'all on y'all Shira 7? Well, I think it was went off camera when I started talking about these controversial issues.
Well, because
I got this child AI question. That's not fair.
Because he has an iPhone and he's not gonna play with us.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it in the Discord. Also,
Your allegiance to mediocrity is wild to me.
not Cass.
Oh no, it's just I realize iPhone is perpetually catching up as far as getting features that Androids have had for years. Not just like high quality Samsung, but like even Motorola phones on Boost Mobile, I feel like have had the technology that iPhones are just now coming out with years later. So I feel like that's just kind of what is going on there. Just I choose the quality over the kind of the brand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and have you noticed that every iPhone user
did
is
iPhone blow up while people were using it? I distinctly remember.
Well, don't buy your phone from eBay. Anyone blow up.
Yeah, I feel like instead of having like bombs in movie, they should just start throwing Samsung in buildings, just like throwing Samsung around, just blowing up. No, you don't get the drag. You do not get the drag. When iPhones start blowing up in people's faces, then you can drag.
I think there was a few
Do
cases
we have proof
where iPhones
of
were
that?
blowing up.
We have proof
evidence.
of this. Right now, your iPhone right now is not powering that person's life support, and we
Well,
hear
yeah, even iPhone has even caught up with
Well,
that. Don't you remember
I'm in a
last year?
computer, so come again.
Don't you remember last year when Apple issued that warning widespread about iPhones catching fire when they were charging? So it looks like even Android got to that first, but iPhone's finally caught up. So, I mean, I'm happy for you guys. You're getting it more recent.
We're talking about people's phone blowing up in their ear while they're talking and getting too hot. Wasn't Samsung overheating? They had a whole recall. There was a class action lawsuit against Samsung for overheating and blowing up in people's ear. Girl, what are y'all talking about? Y'all don't win the
and you would consider that worse than Apple regarding their having the phone close to you, giving you an electrical shock or catching fire. I mean, maybe
Did it
are you
blow up
saying that
and
there's
kill you?
shrapnel?
Did it blow up? Did it blow up and ruin half your face?
When you say blow up, do you mean there's shrapnel flying or is it catching fire?
It
Because it
blew
sounds
up.
like it's what Apple has.
Themis, did your phone come with a charger?
My phone did come with a charger.
Oh, got him.
How do you
Damn.
feel about the millions of iPhone users who don't have that luxury?
It's not my fault people are poor.
Mm. Okay. Well, I'm tired of this
Yeah,
story.
iPhone's overhyped.
Does anybody knows like a rich iPhone user? Because all the iPhone users I know are poor.
Girl, say it again.
Like, you cannot come
All the
in bragging
iPhone
with your
users
life
I know
support.
are very poor and uneducated and illiterate.
Yeah. Didn't we just talk about parking that Bentley in what type of apartment complex? That's all the iPhone users I see. First of all, they have that cable that you have to wiggle it for it to charge, and you have to hold it at just the right spot. And second of all, they always
It's
report,
wild. It's
always
wild.
report back down.
Kerosene.
Report
It's
back
wild
down.
when you come in to drag me with the life support going. That is wild to
Well, I'm in a dorm, so I can't do nothing about that.
me. They're crying, girl.
Somebody's just
And
gonna
I
have to
always be
die.
like, the people who don't need iPhones always got iPhone. My mother has an iPhone. She does not. She's always getting locked out of her iPhone. Like, how do you lock yourself out? She locks herself out of apps, everything, and I don't know how to work it. So like, she just locked out of her phone. It
I
always.
do think you're right, Afri. I think that's an issue. So there are people who are just not as elevated.
Yeah, I mean that really speaks to the iPhone's user base. Also tend to come from
It's like y'all love being confused. Like, just get an Android.
I just realized I couldn't drag your mother. It was supposed to be a joke, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I used to think having an Android, having an iPhone was like a status symbol for as far as your wealth. But
No, the statement should have stopped after think. I used to think, period.
Yeah,
After you got
so
an iPhone, after you got an Android, you probably just stopped thinking.
I used to believe that iPhone was a status symbol, and that people who had that were wealthier than Android havers. But now that I think about it, I was in the same classroom with those children, and we would go on the same bus and ride back to
And
the
then
same
you became
neighborhood.
a janitor.
To the same neighborhood.
And you became a janitor.
Yes, as opposed to their unemployment. I know a lot of blue bubbles.
Well, they're probably in jail right now.
We're done. They're
least he's
smart. They're
employed.
getting free
At least he
food.
has a-
They're getting free meals. They're getting free meals off taxpayers.
All right, guys, we are at the 2-hour mark, so we are now going to do final remarks. You all have 30 seconds collectively. Fight for it.
Bye.
Okay. I guess I'm next. Yeah. Robot AI girlfriends are cool. Don't have a problem with it. I think if you do have a problem with it, then you're one of the normies. You're the normal people. I and the other Android users are not normal, and we tend to think a different way. So I don't think it's a big deal for a man to have an AI girlfriend. I think actually it could be a benefit for women, and that's my opinion.
Thank you.
Thankfully, we have iPhone now, so one day everyone will feel okay enough to move on from the past. And by the past, I mean Samsung.
I'm done with you. Bye.
It's almost like y'all have rock tablets walking around with these rocks, chipping in, carving in these statements. I don't know.
I'm gonna call somebody. Somebody call police. We'll call police.
Well, we know Kerosene can't call nobody.
Oh my gosh! You know what?
How y'all gonna call people?
It's past 30 seconds. Y'all just letting him go. Y'all are just
He
letting him
better
go.
drag. He better drag.
Girl, y'all gonna call the police 911. Broop, the button. Done. How y'all gonna call anyone? I don't know how y'all are even on here right now. I'm sure y'all
You
not
can't
using
even get it to your phone to call 911. So
I'm sure y'all not using Samsung right now. How is that working for you? Kerosene, you don't have to tell us.
Themis, I just thought about the fact that you got an
I
iPhone,
can stand
but you do
you.
be struggling to come off mute. It might be too sophisticated.
Right. You be talking and we don't be hearing anything. Mhm.
Oh no! If you can't hear me, it's probably that phone of yours.
Nah, I'm sure it's you.
It's
You stay on mute.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, as long as women are safe, I'm good.
They're not safe with Samsung. Y'all need an eye. All right, I'm done.
All right, we're gonna get our one meme out.
I told a girl how to give head.
Of course, because I know how to do it.
I beg your pardon.
Wait. You know how to do what?
Give head.
You saw how to give head? You saw how to top you up?
Yeah, how to top me. No.
You say you know how to do
no.
Got him. We fucking got him. You ever told a girl how to give head?
Of course, because I know how to do it.
I beg your pardon.
I think more men should be willing to express what they like.
That's amazing.
And teach. I hear people are looking for men to teach them and to be a tutor. And Monique say, "Daddy does this for me. This is my daddy. When I was a child, he was my daddy." So something, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I don't like. Hold up. Actually, I have an issue with Monique because I read a comment and it was like, "What's wrong with a black woman being supported by her black man? Why is he there?" Ain't nobody mad at that. We're mad at you calling this grown ass man
Is
daddy.
she being supported though?
Why are you at a business meeting with Bill Gates talking about, "Oh, this is daddy. Daddy's gonna find the business deals for me"? Ain't that right? What are you talking about? Get out of my office.
Themis, what's that thing that you say when you're like, I reject the premise. There it is. There's no support going on.
Right, like who is her husband again? Does anyone
Who is
know
her husband?
his
What's
name?
his name?
Who's her husband?
Well,
What does he
It's a
do?
weird ass couple. Did y'all watch her? Not to prolong the ending, but did y'all watch her stand up that she finally got? Remember when she was talking about how, she was not smelling the best and the way that her husband told her.
Oh, I forgot that part. Sydney is her husband. I forgot that. Oh my God, it was so bad, but I forgot that. I was so focused on the bisexual thing.
Me too. They're just a weird couple to me. But I mean,
yeah, ain't nobody mad at you for having your strong black man beside you. We mad at your weird, freaky ass stuff y'all be talking about online. Like we're supposed to ignore it. Oh my God, people are mad to see a black man supporting his woman. Who said that? Who said that? Why is this man who sells shoes here at this business meeting trying to tell you, "Nah, don't take it, baby. We don't want the money. We don't want the money." It's not about what's owed. It's about what the principle.
Oh my God.
It's funny because he told Tyler Perry, "This is not charity. We don't want your charity." Meanwhile, they're accepting money from Kevin Hart, for just because.
Yeah, maybe they should have took the money Tyler Perry owed them, supposedly.
Yep.
Instead of, as a man, why are you blocking your woman's bags and then begging another man for, not begging, my apologies, another man just happened to come in and save you. But fortunately, he was able to scrap it together one day and pay him back with interest. So, I'm not about to talk down on Monique's husband. I don't know his name currently. Sydney. All right.
Honestly, if Sydney is bisexual, that makes a lot of things make more sense. Like all the stuff she was saying, like the video you just showed us about like teach her how to be a woman, like just different stuff. I was like, I don't know, everything about
that is so mean to homosexuals.
Yeah, what's gay about teaching a woman how to give you head because you know about it?
Wait, what?
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I said you would know. That would be who to go to. Yeah, he could.
I didn't ask what's wrong with it. I asked what's gay. What makes that gay?
How do you do?
Are you asking?
Yes. Let's quickly for context.
Told a girl how to give head.
Of course, because I know how to do it.
I beg your pardon.
Wait. You know how to do what?
Give head.
You saw how to give head? You saw how to top you up? Yeah, how the top meet? No, no. Got him.
What's gay about that? What's gay about anything that he said specifically?
Clearly, he backtracked.
He said, "I know how to do it, not I know how I like it. I know,
So
etc." He said he know how to do it. That's different.
Googling techniques is gay now. Googling techniques because you want to help your relationship. You want to help the girl. I should make this woman struggle, and I shouldn't help her. Is what you're saying? That's the gay thing to do is to help her, help me.
I mean, if it's his,
Women,
if
women,
he is doing
women,
his own,
women. Sorry, Afri, you were saying something.
It's never mind.
Thank you. I'm glad we resolved that. I was like, what is gay about it? Nothing. I beg you to name what specifically, anything specifically about that. That was gay. Can't.
All right, I'll catch y'all later. Dip out. Good night.
All right. I guess I'll catch you guys in the Discord or something because we need to figure out what we're gonna do about Black Mirror. Because bye Themis. Thank you for joining, by the way. You guys can catch Themis and I on IdGab Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
Period. Bye. Thank you all for having me. Get your iPhone up. Bye.
Let's talk shit now that he's gone. I don't like his glasses. Ugh. No, I'm kidding. A time of swallowing. Yeah, people try to say TD Jakes is gay for that. Why? He talked about coming out the closet and how you have this stuff in the closet earlier in that, and then he talked about swallowing and going through a time of swallowing after you leave the closet, but God protecting you and you have to confess to everybody. I don't know if you guys watched that full sermon or not, but yeah, people are trying to call that gay. I have no clue why. Hey, Canteron, you came at a weird time. We're discussing some things here that are unrelated to the rest of the stream. I do apologize if it's not PG, but yeah. So what we're looking at next, guys, is Black Mirror. I think it's going to be probably similar to our Love, Death, Robot stream. Thank you for everybody that came up, by the way. NK is still here, but did not join. I want to get on Discord. My Discord is open, so there's a link in all of the video descriptions if you guys ever want to join the Discord. It is open. The general chat, at least, is open. There's an exclusive chat for members. But we don't use it, so you can catch us in generally. I see Miss Boogie just joined. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Yeah, so the hair, so there's one or two, I said this before the stream, there's still one or two strands that are still braided. Excuse me, there are 8 braided. And I've been doing this all day. I've literally been taking it out all day. And like 2 hours ago, there was only 8 left. And so I took out like 3 or 4. And then I felt around and there were 8 left. So I took out like 2 or 3 and I felt around and there were 8 left. And I'm feeling around now and there's 8 left. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I keep taking them out, but there's still always 8 left. So I feel like I'm being gaslit. Am I going to lock my hair? No, you don't comb. I have to take it all out first. I tried, so I got the rat tail and I've apparently been using this wrong because I use the long part to take out the braids. When I'm like going through one, I use the long part to separate it. But I watched my stylist and she was using this part. I don't know how, but I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So it's just taking a really long time. To come out. So I do see a couple of you hopping in the Discord. But yeah, we're going to be looking at, I think we're going to be looking at Black Mirror next. Because we need to talk about this dystopian future now that people are dating AI. Dating AI. For some reason, 8 hours. Holy. My friend telling me some ghetto mess. I can't tell it to y'all because it's a private message. She telling me some ghetto mess about some man. Just ghetto. Ghetto. Y'all, answer me this question. Why do men not act right until you leave them, and then they start acting right, which I believe is a facade personally. If you leave somebody and then, oh, I've changed my ways and I see my errors, why didn't you see them in the relationship when I was willing to work with you? First of all. Second of all, it's a lie. It feels like a lie. It feels like you about to love bomb me, and then right after that, you're gonna go right back to that. Once I'm like, oh, you've changed, and then go back into that relationship, and now he about to do the same thing. That's what it feels like based on what my friend's saying. So yeah, I'm not going to get into those details because the messages are private, but this is exactly what I said. They always come back. This is why you do not no contact. It's not even no contact. It's just like naturally don't want to talk to this person anymore after they've done egregious things. And then it's always later. They always come back. Always. It's going to be like 6 months later, I have seen the error of my ways, and I didn't understand back then, and I needed time to process it because I was so immature back then. But now I really understand it. They always come back for some more whenever you give them that no contact. I really, really like this friend. My last best friend kept throwing herself at this man because I believe some people need that person to know that they did you wrong. Like you need to explain to them, oh my God, it seemed my last friend, it seemed like she wanted the man who did her wrong to come to her and be like, I did you wrong and I was wrong and I see what you're saying and understand. But he's not that type of person. He's a bad person and he doesn't care about her. So he was never going to do that for her. This is a tangent, by the way. This is not related to Black Mirror, but so she kept like going after this man and trying to make him see the error of his ways. I feel like going no contact is always better. It's always better because they're going to come back. Trust me, it just feels like they're going to come back always. I've never seen them not come back. Never, always. It's going to be 6 days or 6 years. Hey, that stuff, it wasn't cool what I did. I apologize. I was childish. I see exactly what you were saying then. You didn't already grown. It's been 6 months. I have grown and matured, and you have just matured into the thing that I was 6 months ago and not even there. So anyway, my apologies. I absolutely love Black Mirror. Yeah. Love bumming and breadcrumbing because you were willing, stop being willing, have standards and leave when they act the best. Yeah, that's it. See, and that's what happened. She had standards and she left. And there was like no negotiating. Well, there was negotiating, but he didn't want to. So, okay, we're not compatible. Goodbye. And now he's coming back because dating is hard, and you just realize you lost something good, and you probably should have worked a little bit on yourself, as we have discussed during this stream. Modern men are not doing self-improvement generally. I've had a man ask me, why do women get mad when you stop doing the things that got them in the first place? He was genuinely befuddled. That can't be a question he asked. Why do women get mad when you stop doing the things that got them in the first place? That can't be an actual question he asked. That can't be. Oh my God, I used to take care of her and I stopped. Why doesn't she like me anymore? So y'all are... Anyway, Black Mirror. Let me see. I'm thinking, should we start with that episode about the AI? Should we watch it in order? What is going on? Why is my screen like this? Why is my screen on this? Let me show y'all something. What is this? What is a bubble run? Bubbles of fun. Why is this here? Why is all... Oh, that's right. We were looking at Apple and their issues with catching fire while charging, as well as giving people electric shocks. Apparently, this is not a concern to Apple users, iPhone users. So, I won't bring it up again, but I'm not going to get into any more of my friend's mess. We have already discussed that we are going to do Black Mirror. So that's what we're going to do probably next weekend. We're going to do episode by episode. because I feel like each episode deserves the episodes are so vastly different. So we can probably do episode by episode and then season recap. So maybe we can do episode 1, 2, 3 separately and then a short season 1 all together. But I feel like we won't even need a season 1 all together. I feel like I can just make playlist on my channel and be like, this is season 1, and you can just go through them. But I also feel like that will take so many weeks if we have to do them by individual episodes. So I'm just going to let you guys vote quickly. I'm about to put this in the chat and then we can all go to bed. Oh, and don't forget to like the video too. Okay, be sure to vote on the poll. This will genuinely help. Okay, y'all are voting wrong. We are doing it by episode. I don't know why y'all thought y'all had a choice. I tried to be good. I tried to give y'all a choice because I believe it's important that people have free will. Okay, never mind. It's back to episode. Good job, guys. I trusted you the whole time. I believed in you. Most of you are voting for episodes. Good. Maybe we can watch, like, it's not going to take us a week to watch one episode and review it. We could just do this alongside a regular stream. Like, I'm sure if we're talking about, like, if we had have done one this weekend on that episode, we would have also been talking about AI. So maybe we can do separate streams on the themes of the whatever we watched or whatever current events are going on separate, just in case you guys aren't into like 13 weeks of reviewing Black Mirror. A lot of people are saying season. I just feel like the episodes can be so vastly different. So should I do, I mean, we could do a season since there are only like 3 episodes per season. We could do a season and do separate reviews in one live stream. We've done that before with Love, Death, Robots. Sure. Chavalier. I did see that in the Discord. Oh, that was the Black History Month recommendation. Oh, yeah. I just don't know what that is. Let's quickly read. Caribbean musician. This is a long plot to read. I'm gonna have to do that later. I'm gonna have to read that later. So don't forget to like the video once more. Thank you everyone who joined. I will see you guys another day. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because I did see that quite a few of you aren't subscribed in my virtual toolbox that YouTube gives me to understand my audience. And I just want to know why you don't love me. I just want to know why you don't love me. You don't have to subscribe. I just want to know why you don't love me. That's all. That's all I want to know. Just why. Just why. Thank you. So y'all are watching without subscribing. How are y'all here every week? Because I be seeing y'all here every week. That's my thing. Stop being emotional. Because I have seen, y'all are not new here. I have seen y'all here every week just watching. That was what confused me, because I was like, who is watching my live streams not subscribed? I know every single one of y'all. But thank you guys. I'm going to play my Not Ghetto outro. Good night. Oh, and teaching your girl how to give you some head is not gay.